providing us this platform to showcase our research output. The title of our research is Determinants of Environmental and Economic Sustainability in Small Scale Fisheries, Evidence from Rural West Bengal. Now, every research is a motivation. In our case, we want to interpret the long-term ecological and economic security, and we also want to interpret how education, income, fishing, profitability change, these variables are influencing the sustainable fishing practices in the rural areas of West Bengal. Alongside that, understanding the drivers that are leading to a sustainable fishing practices, we are trying to interpret the policy making in the final part of our presentation. Now, due to paucity of time, I am not going into the details of the literature and skipping this part. Now, if I talk about the research gap, in numerous amount of literature that we have read, we have found that small scale fisheries were targeted, but on the basis of either environmental sustainability or economic sustainability. But there was no such research in which both the dimensions, that is the environmental sustainability and economic sustainability, was targeted. And in the same way, there are several factors like income, education, fishing experience, profitability change. What is the combined role of these variables and the factors in sustainable fishing practices that is also underexplored in this area? Now, what are the major objectives? We constructed a sustainable fishing practices index by the help of several indicators like use or employment of sustainable practices, fishing waste disposal, awareness of sustainable practices, community willingness for new and more sustainable fishing practices, and community implemented practices. And by the help of these sustainable fishing practices, we want to interpret that which variables are actually influencing this sustainable fishing practices index. And we have also constituted economic sustainability index with the help of these indicators, which are income from fishing, profitability change, other income sources, and economic challenges. And we want to interpret the impact of several variables on this economic sustainability index in the later part of our presentation. Now, if I talk about the research methodology, we have collected the primary data from 3 villages near the area of Madhyam Gram. The villages were Koipul, Koribari, and Badu. And there is a normalized value that is being calculated, and with the help of this formula, that is actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum minus minimum. And these normalized values of all indicators were aggregated and averaged to obtain the final index group. Now, we have constructed 2 beta regression models. In one beta regression model, we had the sustainable fishing practices as our dependent variable, and in other beta regression models, we had the economic sustainability index as our dependent variable. And we will talk about the independent variables in the later part. We have written the structural form of the beta regression model here, where the UI is the error term which follows the normal distribution with 0 mean and sigma square variance, and alpha is the constant term, and beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta 4 are the coefficients. Okay, now I will hand over to my co-author Shayok Ghosh to speak on this part.
Good morning, everyone. I will just continue with the slides. So the variables which were being constructed or which were being used in our study. The first one is the years in education, that it was discrete and it was the number of completed years of formal schooling. The second is the years in fishing, how much time they have aggregated for the time for fishing, and then for fishing frequency it was a binary type, 0 if they are rarely engaged in fishing or 1 if they are daily engaged in fishing. And then from income from fishing it is also a discrete in nature, and the total monthly income that is being earned from fishing activities. And then the household size means total members of the family. So we will be just going to the major findings part. So as we see, we have the coefficients and the marginal effect at 5% level of significance. Dependent variable was said, this was on sustainability fishing practice index is one of the dependent variables.
In that regression,
sustainability fishing practice index was a dependent variable, and these are the independent variables.
So that was the economic sustainability index, sir. That was used in separate, a different regression which will be coming in the later part.
Okay, so this is what?
This is a
There are two regression.
environmental.
First one is the dependent variable.
So this is the sustainable fishing practice.
Yes.
Okay. What are the components of this sustainable fishing practice index?
So the first one is use or employment of sustainable practices. There is the fishing waste disposal, awareness of sustainable practices, community willingness for new sustainable fishing practices.
Fishing waste disposal means what?
Whether they are disposing the waste of which are being used for fishing practices and all that properly in a proper manner or not. Plastics and all that are being properly disposed properly or not.
Okay. But then one is actual practice and the other one is awareness. I mean, so your index is actually combining what they are actually practicing and what they are aware of. So এটা হচ্ছে একটা হচ্ছে যে ও জানি কিনা আর একটা হচ্ছে করছে কিনা। তো জানি কিনা আর অ্যাকচুয়ালি করছে কিনা এই দুটোকে একসঙ্গে করে একটু সমস্যা হবে। মানে জানলেই তো করবে তবে।
Yes, sir. This was for use of their either using or not, and this is willingness for new practices, not the existing practice.
না এই নম্বরটা আছে না awareness.
Awareness of sustainable use. Okay. For this case, the dependent variable was our sustainable fishing price index, the fishing practice index, and these were the independent variables. One of the independent variables was just not significant because it came to be 0.05. It can be significant at 10% level of significance, but the other three was significant at 5% level of significance, and moreover, the coefficients prove that the coefficients show that the ERC derivations, as the ERC derivations, formal derivations increases, there is a positive relation with the sustainable fishing practice. Moreover, the more ERC fishing, there is also a positive relation with the sustainable fishing practice, and fishing frequency have a negative. As it is usual, because more the fishing practice or more the fishing frequency, they will always go for some unusual things and there will be non-sustainable fishing practices. We have gone for the goodness of fit also and the test for multicolority also. There was a mean GIF of 1.07 which indicates that there was no multicolority problem and BIC. And similarly, we have run a similar beta regression model where in economic sustainability was our dependent variable, and these explanatory variables only one thing changed, the household size changed. ERC education remains as the same, household size, income from the fishing remains as the same, ERC fishing, household size only we have been added a new variable when the dependent variable was economic sustainability index. And in this case, the ERC fishing came to be insignificant, and all these three came to be significant, and moreover with the increase in the household size there was a negative relation with the economic sustainability. And so coming to our conclusion, so as we see there are many socio-economic factors such as education, income, experience and fishing frequency which are affecting the environmental and economic sustainability, and moreover the most important thing is that since it was based on a primary survey, primary data, moreover 168 samples were being collected from these three villages, and education and years of fishing have a positive impact on sustainable practices, whereas higher fishing practice frequency is associated with lower sustainability. So exploitation, because of exploitation pressure. So if we go for the policy relevances, then first the thing is that they should be aware and properly trained to promote sustainable fishing methods, and they should be their income livelihood should be diversified, because they are only dependent on fishing. There should be diversified schemes, so that excessive dependency on fishing and lower exploitation and pressure of the aquatic resources. And one of the most thing we have gone there, we talked to them. One important thing, that's the market linkage and access to market. They are facing a lot of problem there. They are not getting a proper market linkage or proper market access, because most of the fish that were being collected, they were bought for trading in Odisha, Bihar and Jharkhand, many parts of Odisha, Bihar and Jharkhand. But they are facing some administrative issues, as well as they are facing competition with Odisha, Bihar and Jharkhand, because they have also started this type of fishing. So these are some glimpses of our